Kanpai.
Shit, yeah, that thing.
Kanpai, everyone. Kanpai.
Welcome, one and all. You quite finished?
Nope.
Okay. So, welcome, one and all, to episode 195 of Kanpai Cast, where we'll be doing the Spring 2025 season review. Before we jump into everything, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping, which is, if you'd like to like, comment, subscribe, there is an audio version in the description below, including Spotify. And of course, you'll find the links below to the Discords, the Patreon, and the streaming settings as well. You'll also find down below links to all this week's memes, where we archive them on our website, and a few other things that might be fun for you to have a quick look at. Please interact. We really want you to interact with our show. Yeah, it really helps.
It's so lonely with only us.
Yes, it's far too hot in England. Cool us down with the breeze of your passage. Wait.
the breaking of your wind.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll get to Windbreaker later.
This week is the delayed by 1 week season review because one of the shows, Apothecary Diaries, was delayed by an extra week. And
it was well worth watching.
So, yeah, apparently for these guys, well worth watching, which is really out of place in this season. I've watched a lot of shows, and I will be discarding 2 of them myself, not because they're bad, but because 2 of the shows are not finishing this season and are carrying straight on into their second core in this summer season, which is 2B Hero X and Witch Watch. So while I am up to date with them both, I won't be reviewing them tonight, just to keep things balanced. So, who do you think should go first for our reviews now that we're getting into it?
Well, Thaylien has the most, and traditionally that's
yeah.
Oh no, wait, but you're dropping.
Okay.
He's not, but he's dropping 2, so I think he and I are tied now.
Not
me
tied
then.
with Nasuth. So
sure,
okay, I'll go first then.
Oh, I didn't build
Who
that.
Wants to...
I didn't build that wheel spinner. Oh man, I knew I forgot something.
No, you did not.
Crap.
What do you want to hear from me? There is one I want to save. Oh no, I don't want to save any of mine at all. What do you want to hear about?
So I ended up dropping from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. So let's go with that one.
Okay. So from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. So if you want to poke the buttons.
Oh yes, sorry. I
got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on top of things.
That's a thumbnail. That's a screenshot to go to. So this one, I'm going to give this one an acquired taste 4 stars. At the halfway point, it was acquired taste 3 stars. And I'll be honest, this is an author's well-disguised wish fulfillment show. They've created a character that would be 100% happy to have stayed in their small town, taught swordsmanship, and had a hearty meal and a beer in the evening. However, by dint of other people recognizing him and a little overhyping him, he was able to see more of the world and make a difference in places he never would have thought to go. See the world, make friends with people, that kind of thing. And on top of that, he's seeing the fruits of his teachings play out with powerful and influential students of his swordsmanship lessons, finding key roles in different places around the kingdom and beyond. And he finishes up the season with a comfortable house in the city, a good job, an adopted daughter, and a group of friends that would help him out with anything, and he would do the same for them.
How did I get here?
And he's even been recognized by the powerful and wealthy as a master swordsman. And yet he remains just a guy that wants to do a good day's work, have a good meal, and a beer to have some good time with friends. I'm going to be clear, nothing in this season is groundbreaking.
Nothing you watched?
No, he means nothing in this season of the show.
This season of the show is groundbreaking. It's aside from it just playing its characters well. Okay, nothing about the season is inappropriate or fan service oriented either. I mean, the Knight Commander has a weird leotard with cut out hips, but that's about it, really. And it's weird to me that simply telling a story, playing the characters straight, and being honest about, it's just a simple drag him into the good time story. makes me rate the show so highly. And maybe it's because I've been disappointed with so many of the fantasy shows of this genre. That it ranks higher than them just to kind of spite them. In any case, I can see how some people might find the slow parts of this boring or not get the overall appeal of it. I enjoyed it for what's there. A combination of slice of life with well-choreographed swordsmanship that creates fun battles with little to no bullshit for the main character. I think the most silly that they got were deflecting arrows with swords, but since they all showed that skill, as all the skilled swordsmen showed that skill, it didn't seem so out of place. There are plenty of better shows out there. Not so many this season. I've rated it this highly because the show actually kind of creates a realistic world with realistic characters that, some of them, not everybody has magic, not everybody can do stupidly crazy things. And it tells its own little story without any of the power leveling or aura firing to ruin the mood. So it's just an acquired taste, and I liked the production value of it, so it gets a 4-star.
Okay. I'll give you, the animation is decent. It's not amazing, right? But it is decent. But they spent half an episode bloody clothes shopping.
Yes.
Right? I lost the will to live with that episode.
Okay.
To
But
the
that's a personal taste thing, I feel. I mean, I would probably feel the same way.
I find that part boring.
But then you look at something like My Dress Up Darling, where they go clothes shopping, and you have no problem with that one.
No, but that's the whole show, though, right? The whole show is cosplay, right? But with this, there's the whole we need you to train our students on how to become expert swordsmen. It's never happens, right? I will be honest.
Every single other episode starts with him or ends with him in the training hall, training the swordsman.
Never happens.
Past that yes, it does.
You never see it on screen. It just this kind of happened on the side, right? I stopped at episode 8, right? Episode 8.
Fair.
There was this half the episode was all about him buying clothes, which he didn't want to do, and then the other half of the episode was a spectacularly amazing sword fight between two of the main characters. Unbelievably well choreographed. It was so well animated and everything. The start of the next episode is them him talking to his adoptive daughter, 17th removed, I don't know, about buying a bag for her school, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm just done. I just couldn't. I got 2 minutes into episode 9. I'm like, no, there's no adventure, there's no teaching, there's no.
Well, that's the part you gave up because of that bag. He heads out on an adventure to earn money for that bag, and comes back, and it finishes up with him getting a hint from the Adventurers Guild saying, "Oh, you weren't the only one out for a bit of money today." And when he gets back, his adopted daughter has also bought him something with her adventuring money. It's a nice little thing.
So
it
weird
leads into him doing something.
It's so weirdly paced. He gets this super cool, amazing. He gets a super cool, amazing sword of amazingness, and doesn't use it for I don't know how many episodes. And it's just like, why do you even get this damn sword?
Because the old one broke.
Yeah, well, no,
and he had the materials.
He could have but it doesn't do anything.
He was going to get a completely. That's the whole theme of this. He was trying to get a completely ordinary sword from his former apprentice. But
even if he did, he still wouldn't do anything.
But that's the thing. He wouldn't have done anything any more than he did. But the reason he got an amazing sword was because his students overhype him and come in and say, "Oh no, you deserve this one," and give him one. The whole point is that he wants to be an ordinary guy, and everybody's dragging him out to do these other ththings.
But I would say the first 6 episodes really were him being dragged out, doing adventures, doing teaching, testing him whether or not he can actually fight magic for the first time ever. But then all of a sudden, after episode 6, it just ground to an absolute bloody halt. And it's just like,
There's
going
2
around.
or 3 episodes. There's 2 or 3 episodes that are slow. You're right. The pace is a bit weird. I could see why you'd find it boring. But then the last 3 episodes are him fighting off an invasion from a neighboring country with magical people and ninjas.
Okay.
So, yeah. See, it depends. You can see why some people would drop it. Some people would find it boring. But there is saving grace to this. That's why I've rated it surprisingly highly. Because it doesn't... While there are some slow bits, it doesn't let me down overall as a show.
Okay. Right. Do you want to move on, Nasuth? All right.
Oh, what? Oh, I know what Xeno wants to hear me talk about, but
yeah,
I think I do.
I want you to talk about GQuuuuuuX.
All right.
You have been frothing at the mouth, wanting to. You've been wanting to talk about GQuuuuuuX like all bloody week.
Don't talk to me about new types.
Go on then.
Right, so this earns a what the fuck. What the?
Nice.
This was an acquired taste too. But I seriously do not. It's I don't know how to rate this. Because there are things here that are good, but then there's also just so much that's what the actual fuck were they thinking? The main problem I feel is that there were too few episodes. 12 episodes was not enough because there's all this political stuff that happens in like the last 4 episodes or so,
yes.
And that
May I
needed
interject?
way more time to breathe. Yes.
Right. Okay. To help actually narrow this down, because obviously you've just gone, this is a what the fuck, right? That doesn't really... This doesn't help narrow down for our audience, right? Would you watch this again casually?
No. But at the same time, there are some really interesting ideas there, so I don't exactly regret watching it either.
Right. So for me, for the sounds of this feels like nothing special category, right? You're glad that you've watched it,
yeah,
but you wouldn't go out of your way to watch it again.
Sure, yeah. I seriously don't know. I seriously do not know. Part of me wants to say it's poop because of how bad the bad stuff is, but the good stuff is so cool that I want to rate it an acquired taste. It's like I'm being... I can't give it a definitive rating because it's almost like there are 2 shows here that have been smashed together.
Okay, right. I think having that as a precursor to the rest of your statement now will help the audience go like,
Okay, that's fair enough.
See, having watched it with you, my unbiased and out there for the audience would put it as like an acquired taste 2-star, because for people that don't know anything about Gundam, okay, they might enjoy this. But my
I don't know a
actual
whole lot
placing
about
as a
Gundam,
biased
and
my actual placing as a personal and completely biased and knowing the rest of the context, it's down in the past section. Not even just about Gundam, about the animation studio, the director.
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Knowing about that, it's right down in the past section for a personal bias.
I would give it like, because I got
episode
8 or 9 again. Yeah, like one thing happened and I was like, I'm done. We'll get into spoilers later, and I'm like, but I would say like the production of this is a 5-star pass.
Oh yeah. Oh
right?
what?
Like it is. Yeah, just I wouldn't advise anyone to watch this, but I would say this is a 5-star, right? Like
based on just the production,
animation,
based on just the animation production.
Animation production, sound,
voice work,
choreography. The only thing that really is just detritus about it is the plot, right? Maybe I'll give it a 4-star pass.
So you're giving it a pass for the plot, but a 5-star because it's so well put together. Okay.
It is so damn well
I thought you were saying it
together.
was poorly put together, and that's why it was a pass.
No.
Sorry.
No. 5-star because it's so well put together, pass because
the story is so
it's
weird.
just carnage. Right. There we go. Nasuth. Please.
Okay, now that we spent 4 minutes in a preamble for this. Right. Yeah, so there's a bunch. It's like I said, it's almost like two shows that have been smashed together. Because we start with this underground fighting ring on the space colony, and then very suddenly it shifts to the political stuff and weird stuff about the universe itself. That's spoilery, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But there are also really weird references. I feel like they're references to other stuff made by both Trigger and Gainax. Since it's Kara, it kind of has a bit of both of them. We've got a Unit 1, right? Unit 01 from Evangelion, purple robot, orange trim, green bits, and there's even a point later where it fucking roars like the Ava unit. And so this means that the red Gundam is Ava Unit 2, and the white or the GQuuuuuuX is Ava Unit 0, right? That's just how it works out. So we've got all three Ava units.
Heck, look at on screen, even the plug suits there.
Yep, even the plug suits.
So I'm going to push back on you on that one because, like, nearly all Gundams.
Yeah.
Because they try to give her a more military type suit later, and she says, "No, I'm sticking with this one." And the other suits, the other girl is in like a black plug suit from the Rebuild movies. There are references to, even though it wasn't Gainax or Kara or anything, I feel like there are references to Fulikuli in there, at least Fulikuli shoegaze specifically.
Yes.
There are clear references to Gurren Lagann because one of the robots eventually grows to giant size. I won't explain how until we're in spoilers, but it does do that, just like Gurren Lagann does. It gets. Oh, there's even a mention of Unit 13, which is something from the Rebuild movies. So one of Xeno's complaints early on was that they talk about the Kira, and he realized that's just sparkles. I feel like it should have actually been translated as shining light. Sparkle. There's a weird thing that the Japanese do. I say weird. There's a thing that the Japanese do where they'll repeat something for emphasis, like Boroboro is worn out. Dere Dere is happy, like really happy. No, that's Genki. Sorry, that's Genki.
Affectionate.
Genki Dere.
Dere Dere is really affectionate and loving.
Really affectionate. So Kira is just sparkles, but I think it should be shining light. But I think we might need to start getting into spoilers at this point because the rest of this is all just.
Please do. Hit the button. Usual on-screen fight. Let's hit the button.
Oh, why isn't it turned on?
And
there we go.
And on the on-screen 5, 4.
So, like, I can come up with a lot of justifications for why the colony hadn't lost pressure, but in the final battle on the colony before they start moving on to other stuff, it starts to strain my incredulity. The Zek Nova that takes away Shuji is like reminiscent of the instrumentality in Evangelion, and that gets even worse later. There's a third impact, sort of thing. So when our main character escapes to Earth, she visits a for lack of a better word, a whorehouse where the Lowland in this universe
wakes up in it.
Yes. Where the Lowland in this universe works. Lowland was, for lack of a better term, Char's girlfriend, kind of.
She was a huge. She had huge relevance in Gundam.
Yeah.
Massive.
So they give us a vision of the reality of things there, and which again is some Evangelion bullshit. Essentially, the reality of things, Xeno, I sort of mentioned this to you earlier. This is not the real universe. This is a different universe. We are truly in an alternate timeline, but the thing is, that timeline is not naturally occurring. This timeline was created by the real Lolan, who had her own Zeknova in the real world because she saw Char dying, and in order to save him, she's building these other universes where she ends up watching him die over and over and over again, and each time it does, she destroys that universe and makes a new one. There you go. That's the whole plot. And Shuji is trying to stop her from this. So he's like, oh, I want to spare her the pain of seeing Char die, so I kill her in each universe and send her on to the next one. Which is like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's really ironic that Shuji's the one following her through, because does that make him the actual Shuji? Well, what?
Yeah, and why is he piloting the GX? Is it GX? RX-78? RX-78.
The actual RX-78.
The actual RX-78. He ends up coming into... He's like, oh, she's waking up. That means the barriers are thin. I can bring stuff back into this universe. And he comes in with the RX-78, which he then makes grow giant at some point. Because
just fills it with alternate universe energy and makes it grow into a giant thing for the strict desire of killing her off in this universe as well.
The politics... Oh, this is all part of the Third Impact stuff that was going on, because as she's waking up, she creates this massive fucking hole between the universes or some weird thing.
The third Zeknova.
The third Zeknova.
Yes, that's what they call it, the third Zeknova.
All the political... This is all really weird stuff, which could have been interesting, but comes too fast and is too weird. Especially when we had all this political stuff that's going on in the background with, like, Camilla wants to destroy the Earth to make it a peaceful place for new types, which is weird.
Do you mean Caecilia?
Caecilia. Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Camilla? Sorry.
Camilla, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Caecilia.
Well, is he wrong?
And Char reappears. He's actually been a background character this whole time.
And
he's trying to stop her, and, like, it just gets... so weird. They did save a lot of the budget for the final fights, which was nice. The final fights were very good.
Yes, very well choreographed.
But I can't explain this. There is no good way to explain this show because it is so weird and everything is so rushed.
So
do you want me to? I put it into words at one point. I said they just pulled a Fooly-Cooly shoegaze, and I use that quite deliberately.
Yes,
because
of the
what we're
alternate universe
seeing
thing.
is something created entirely by the writers of the show to excuse involving new characters with the history of the original Gundam, and then set up a whole load of new battles, and then just add in for spice Studio Kara's inability to make a mecha that links with the pilot's mind just be an advanced mecha and not something aware.
Yeah.
Sorry,
do we need to keep spoilers on? Or are you...
Okay. I gave up on GQuuuuuX when they did a huge pivot in episode 6. They then did another flashback in episode 7.
Yes.
And then proceeded to just go off the wall, like, oh, this is basically a different show entirely from episode 8.
Yep.
Introduced AV Unit 1, and the second it moved on its own...
Well, but we'd seen the GQuuuuuX do that already a few times, so it's not the first time they've done that.
Yeah, it's again.
When is the GQuuuuuX moved on its own?
Oh, very early on.
When?
Like second or third episode.
It popped out those arms for her to grab. It's literally did that, and
popped out those arms for her to grab?
When it activated the what is it? The
I think it even moved to protect her at one point.
Psychommu unit.
It
pops out the Psychommu unit, and then when she falls to Earth, it literally puts its arms around her and pops out.
Yeah, but that's
the
afterwards.
jet
Like
thing.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure early on when she's still in the tunnel with it, it moves to protect her.
Yes, I think it does. Puts its arm up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
blocks
remember that.
bullets.
I don't remember that at all. But regardless, I was so effed off by the fact that the AV Unit 1, I'm still going to refer to it as AV Unit 1.
That's fine.
AV Unit 1
it's
just
Gundam
moved
Unit 1.
on its own. Shut up. The fact that it moved on its own, I literally sat down with Loz and brainstormed, when has a Gundam, excluding Ariel, because Ariel's a special case, when has a Gundam ever moved independently of the pilot being
Earlier
in the
in
Gundam?
series.
Right? Exactly.
No, yeah, but it has never happened in any other Gundam.
I know.
Right?
Know.
And it is just
that's not really the egregious part. I'd be okay. I'd honestly be able to be okay with that because there's this weird mental link thing going on. But when it screams like Ava Unit 1 later on, that's the best. When its jaw pops open, so to reveal some weird stuff inside, and it screams like Ava Unit 1. No. That's the bad part.
The
Gundams
whole
don't
thing
scream.
No, but the whole thing of Gundams sort of like becoming more one with their pilot is all across Gundam, right? But never,
I
ever
don't care.
has a Gundam.
That's fine. It's not a big deal. That's such a tiny detail compared to a Gundam screaming.
No, I'll give you that, Nasuth. Right? I 100% give you that. But like, I'm so glad I stopped when I did.
Yeah. So I said about this at the start, like the 6th episode review. I said the show needs to force the main characters into the political sphere to unite the three parts of the story: the political, the underground battling side, and the teen drama side. And it kind of did, but in the most disappointing way possible.
Most slapdash way.
Was by discarding the underground battling side entirely in favor of the political side, and then discarding the political side in favor of mecha battles over a magical MacGuffin between the teen drama characters.
Yeah. Admittedly, the rose was really cool. I liked the whole structure that it was in.
Yeah,
it looked amazing, but it was just bullshit. It was just been bullshit incarnate.
Exactly.
I think
how did Char get all that shit past them? Somebody had to be reviewing the work.
One of the biggest issues I have with this is the fact that the whole multiverse thing, to the fact that you have so much reliance on prior Gundam knowledge.
It's not exactly a multiverse, though, to be fair.
Whatever, Dreamscape, I don't give a crap. But the whole point is, like, I still need to know about Lolan. I still need to know about Pycilia. I still need to know, like, I need to know a lot more about the UC timeline. And it just screams to me, this whole thing would have been better if it wasn't set in UC.
Yes.
Right? You know,
or again, if they had more episodes, so they could do more of those flash, like when they show you Char in the original series sort of timeline.
No, dude, that was really getting old fast. Like, and it only happened bloody twice.
I don't think it was.
Like, this could have been its own story. They could have shown when the two girls join the opposing sides of the political thing. They could have shown them getting trained up as actual, combat pilots. In opposing things. I did like the thing that both political characters gave them a gun and only one of them used it.
Oh god, there was a literal moment where Char and Kycilia were on a stage giving basically giving a performance to the audience, giving exposition to the audience. And I was like, this is so fucking on the nose. This is not even like in the end of the rebuild movies, right? There's a bit where Shinji and Rei are in what is essentially a movie set. Well, hell, even when he's fighting with his father, it ends up being on like a movie set, and that is symbolic in a way that works. This is just pretentious.
Yes. Do you want to know that the thing, of course, that even worse than that as pretension goes, is where do our two main characters end up?
Oh, on the beach, yeah.
On the fucking beach, looking out over the blue water. So it even finishes up with them on a parallel beach, looking out over the place, over the destruction. It's just so
move on.
Disappointing.
Yeah, we've spent 15 minutes on this, which is 15 minutes more than it deserves.
Well, technically 20 minutes. So I'm going to give you one that I was actually genuinely really happy with. So for everyone's benefit, I dropped hell of a lot this season, right? I think I started on 12 or 14 shows, and I'm down to 6.
5.
You know,
6? No, 5.
That's having picked up new ones.
Yeah,
new one, singular, right? So I'm going to talk about the one that I actually got really excited for the entire season, and that's Apocalypse Hotel. Right?
Excellent.
I was really happy with this series, and I'm flat out, I don't even know what I gave it last time. I'm giving this an acquired taste 5-star. Right?
If I can get the stamps
if you can, but you can't. The big thing is that this is not for everyone, right? This is certainly not going to be 100% for Nasuth because he doesn't like the slice of life stuff. But if you like wacky and zany with slice of life, I think this is right up your alley.
I do need to know. I don't know if you want to get to it in your review at some point, but I do need to know if it develops the plot with the humans any further.
So I do want to address that without spoilers.
Okay.
And the answer is yes.
Okay.
Right?
Does it come to a resolution in some way?
I think the answer to that is yes. Is it a satisfying conclusion? I think that is entirely up to the eye of the beholder.
Fair enough. All right.
Right? So some people would say yes, some people would say no. The humor in this show is really on point a lot of the time. And it really explores a lot of different ways of telling stories. So one episode throughout, what's called later on in the series, is basically entirely silent. There's no dialogue whatsoever, and it's kind of cool to watch and see this different way of telling a story. And there are still plenty of funny moments. There's a few funny moments towards the end of the episode, and it is a good show. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek in its nature, which refers more back to traditional Japanese anime, sort of great teacher Onizuka kind of hijinks, the rebel cast of society, the thugs, the street life. It's a really interesting show, and I'm trying to remember how many. It spans so many hundreds of years. One of the nicest things about the show is the comedy isn't slapstick, right?
Well,
it is
not all the time.
Situational.
Well, I can't. Okay, maybe I'm getting the wrong end of the stick here, but like, for example, when she drank the alcohol and her bust would inflate, and she would grow a few inches, and her skirt would slim down. I wouldn't count that as slapstick. No. That's
But when she gets angry and I think hits one of the customers, there's some other moments like that are very similar, very slapstick adjacent.
Sure. Yeah. There's plenty of slapstick adjacent moments in it, but at the same time, there's loads of
yeah. A lot of more cerebral comedy.
Yeah, there's one part in the series that genuinely had me on nerves, which I don't really want to go into too much detail because I'd like people to be surprised. But I will say though that if you end up developing the same nerves that I do, where you're like, oh, is this about to go downhill? The good news is no, it doesn't go downhill. It is, it's a great fun series. I genuinely recommend people to watch it. If you, I hope it gets an English dub. I genuinely do. And I'll also sing praises for the intro. Like, I loved the intro.
Yes.
It took me a long time to realize how they animated the intro. But effectively what they did was they got so there's one part where effectively it's called like a oneer, where the camera is moving a hell of a lot, and it's the same camera for like the entire duration. It doesn't really work when it comes to animation, but the idea is that the camera goes
like
from
moving
a bird's eye view
her while she's turning the other way, I think.
So it's a bird's eye view. It's a bird's eye view. She's dancing in the main foyer, and then it kind of swoops down in front of her, and then kind of does like an upper shot, so it's like looking up at her and things like that.
That's probably the most awkward bit because you can see her face changing position.
So, and it took me a long time to realize how they actually pulled this off. Effectively, they would have had an animatic version of her, or I think personally they got a model, right? You know, just like a stick figure to actually do the dance in the scene. Then they actually got the people to animate over the stick figure, and then they took the stick figure away, so it was just her. And then that's how they made it so seamlessly smooth. Because like, one of the biggest problems whenever it comes to animation is the disconnect between a 3D environment moving and a 2D character being tracked in to make sure that it looks like that person is in the 3D environment. Right?
Yeah, there's a couple of software that'll do that. Like, I was going to say, like Disney's Deep Canvas would do that, where they actually generate the model that will do the thing in the scene to provide help for lighting and everything. But you then actually, it is a canvas thing, so as soon as you freeze it, it becomes a single layer that you can paint over for the actual thing. Yeah, that's how I think they've done it.
I see. Personally, I think
you wouldn't see it.
Like they had somebody actually do it and then essentially rotoscoped it.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in terms of like a CGI stick figure in the CGI environment, they had that do the dance, and then they rotoscoped over it. That's what
I think it was an actual person that they did, but either way,
with mocap,
it might be mocap.
But having
I think it's mocap.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem with mocap though is lining it all up, because it becomes very difficult. Anyway, that's besides the point. It's a brilliant series. I think more people need to check it out and things. And maybe I could convince Nasuth to binge watch it now that it's all out.
If it's dubbed, I would probably binge watch it. Subtitled might be a bit more of a chore, but I mean, it's not like I hated it. It's just I got kind of bored, and
that's
even then, it was like the quality is amazing. You know, the quality of the show, 100% with you, impeccable quality. Good writing, even just not my kind of writing.
Yep. All right, should we move on?
Yes. What do you like to hear about from me?
I left my A rank party to help my former students reach the depth of the dungeon, because I ultimately stopped watching this because I just had too much going on, and I'm not going to lie, the animation was kind of meh.
Okay. So this has dropped to a nothing special 4.
Okay.
I said it last time I reviewed this, and it applies now that the show is just a constant string of ups and downs. While it's got good enough production and fun characters and an actual fantasy adventure plot with a regularly powered cast of adventurers, It has the problem for every bit above average it does something to below average to balance it out. It never moves above that earlier acquired taste 2-star rating because they'll introduce a fun side character, like a royal prince and his wife. The prince is enthusiastic but awkward, the wife is there to cut through his nonsense and say things plainly, and it makes them fun. But then it'll introduce, say, the prince's older brother, who's a walking stereotype of a cowardly warhawk who wants to bully his way to power by showing up his younger brother, and then do nothing with him. You know? But every great concept it introduces, like the idea that the original dungeon, Achromatic Darkness, is a gateway to other worlds, and therefore it's connected to all of the other dungeons too, they spoil that by having the end boss of that dungeon be basically one-shot because they have the only spell in the world that's designed to kill it. They bring out the uncle of our lead character, who's been absent for 17 episodes, in order for him to be basically that slightly higher level NPC that joins the party for a limited time and provides a few inspiring quotes. Yep. They say something that sounds cool, like, it's a conceptual attack, by which it means the enemy attacked with the concept of dealing damage. So it just deals the damage without needing to actually have done anything special. And it's then blocked by the concept of protection using the power of a wished spell. And yet it's literally a throwaway idea. Okay, it never comes back. It's introduced too late, doesn't do anything. Yeah, even earlier in the show, they go scouting for a safe path to a dungeon, and every time they're threatened by enemies, the show cuts away before any action happens, and it turns out they ran away to find somewhere safer. I think in 24 episodes, there's a total of about 5 actual fights. The rest are showdowns where a bit of magic fixes things. They're cutaways. And there's one singular impressive moment in episode 2 where the guy uses debuffs only to break a boss. Worse than any of that is that the show doesn't stick the landing. It knocks itself right down to that next rating rank, the nothing special rating, by virtue of building up to essentially nothing. It's a huge build-up over 23 episodes, and the resolution takes, and I checked, 9 minutes from reaching that endpoint. While the rest of the last episode is all a pointless, I should have been the one to sacrifice myself discussion, followed by a rushed happy ending. It's surprisingly disappointing for a show that was just holding average for so long that I was kind of expecting just an average ending. It just nosedived it. So it's down to a nothing special, and it keeps 4 stars because of the setting, the characters, and the production.
Fair.
Yep. That one I left me disappointed. Very.
Wow.
Now's save us. Talk about something better.
Well, I could talk about the other really bad show, but you want something better.
Oh no! If it's something bad, show that. But
Lazarus.
Zeno knew exactly what I was talking about. Good old Lazarus.
That was the other one I dropped, didn't it?
Yep. Thaylien, did you finish this one?
I did. And I fucking called it.
I know how. There's so much shit that I called in this, but I missed that one. So this was an acquired taste too. This is now a poop 4-star, a 4-star poop. If the stars will come up, there we go. It stinks. Genuine potential squandered so badly that it definitely earns the poop. It has a literal ticking clock, and yet our characters are so slow to do anything, including revealing anything about themselves or developing the characters at all. There was a subplot about the Russians, although I don't really remember it now. But it comes so late in the story But this is another one where 12 episodes is not enough. It needs at least 24.
Yes, it definitely did.
Or more than one season, which they have done that at the end of the show. They've baited for almost as if this is a backdoor pilot to one of those, this is a group of sort of an A-team sort of thing, only instead of running from the government, they're working for the government.
If this was the pilot season to a longer show, then that would work.
Maybe.
But maybe.
I don't trust them with a longer season or longer show based on some of the plot, quote unquote, plot twists. Everything is so cliche. Everything. The backroom political shit is cliche, and on top of that, it makes no sense because it's given no real room to develop. Like, why are these two groups fighting each other? I guess it's sort of revealed later, but they're literally facing the end of the world. Why would they still be doing this? I said, I don't want to give it away, but why would they still be doing this? I can't believe that's where Skinner really was. It's so obvious. Thaylien called it super early on. Why would they go with the most obvious answer?
It's the most obvious Chekhov's arsehole I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the arsehole. There he is.
Wait,
we went to the trouble of...
Do we both? Is this the thing that I said as well?
I think you both called it.
When I said it, you agreed with me. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Really?
I think Xeno had come to it independently, but you were the first one to say it out loud.
I said it, and Xeno agreed with me 100%. He was sure.
I really. Sorry, can we either chop this next bit out, or can we put on spoilers?
Let's use the spoilers tag because I've got another thing I want to say.
All right.
Okay, fine. We're gonna hit the spoilers tag. So giving people plenty of room to maybe watch this 4-star poop of a show. Right. So I said it was the white-haired guy in the slums that was right next to one of the other. I can't remember. No, I think it was the. They
pointed. They literally said, "Oh, who's that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a little flower in front of him, and they said, "Oh, he's blind, so we have to, take care of him."
Yeah, that's
Skinner.
Him.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah.
He's blind from the Hopna disease.
That he
had the same flower that his mother had, and was at his old apartment or his old house.
I thought, they couldn't be that fucking.
Exactly. I cannot believe
it was so obvious.
They went with the.
It's like Where's Wally, but it's Duplo.
So it's like these plot twists keep coming, right?
Yeah.
And as Nasuth said, so one of the plot twists is that all 5 of the people in Lazarus, the main characters, were actually caught in the original. They introduced this idea that Skinner saw they were trying to make Hopna into a military application, into a chemical weapon,
a bioweapon.
So he tried to defect. And the military stopped him at the airport in a showdown where they actually ran into airport security as well, who didn't know that they were military, and it caused the bioweapon to go off. Right?
Basically killing everyone in the area.
A whole load of people died. A whole load of people died, except for Skinner, who got out of it, obviously because he's got himself inoculated, and the 5 members of Lazarus.
Well, you say he's been inoculated, but he still went blind from it.
No, that's not. That's not the bioweapon. That's Hopna. He started taking Hopna because of the bioweapon. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why he's gone blind already, because it was earlier than the rest.
I'm pretty sure he invented Hopna after the bioweapon, because Hopna was his way to show the rest of the world this is what's happening.
The whole thing was a scheme to bring to light the conspiracy that America was generating bioweapons.
Yeah. And his announcement was designed to get all these roaches who have infiltrated the government out into the light so they can be arrested and taken away, taken out of will no longer be making these horrible weapons, etc.
Yep.
Wow.
That was the whole plan.
Okay, so a fun thing. Okay, so we find something out about most of the characters. So,
oh yes, the Lazarus characters were immune to it. Like that's why they survived.
So
they were never in any danger from.
We find that out, but okay. So we find that we get some interesting things with our main character, obviously, where he fights an assassin, and he finds out a little bit about. I think he reveals a bit about his people that he knew, and that's why he wears a little wing on a necklace. But we don't find any real details about him.
Yep.
Yeah, the hot woman is an ex-Russian special forces person that's had
that's the Russian subplot. That's right.
Yes, the kid with the drones is actually the heir to some ancient bloodline that he's running away from, and his sister is still in the mansion and hates him. Okay. And of course, we found out earlier on that the hacker girl is a survivor of a cult. Right, we found out about her world.
Did we ever really find out anything about the other guy?
We still don't know nothing about Doug.
Yeah,
we absolutely know Doug's the black guy with the glasses drives a big car. That's it. We don't know anything about him other than he survived the chemical weapon explosion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing about him. No backstory whatsoever.
Also, they got the cure on the last day. How are they going to synthesize it and cure everyone in the world? So many people are still going to fucking die from this.
So, question I have for you: the characters' backstories, like their origin stories or whatever have you. What relevance does it have to them finding? Cool.
Cool. The one bit. The kid's family.
Oh yeah,
has access to a private hospital that treated Skinner to get his surgery done for his heart, and that's how they found out what frequency his heart monitor, his remote heart monitor, is operating on, and how they can track that signal that's being
to the homeless camp
back to the hacker girl from the bus in the earlier episodes, because she's the one keeping an eye on Skinner's heart monitor for him.
Yeah. And then she sends them to the homeless camp. So
what the fuck?
Yeah.
So they track Skinner.
Heart monitor.
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
So he's got a heart monitor.
That is a thing.
But rather than give it to the doctors, he gave it to the hacker girl, and so they track the hacker girl and track her down.
And so it can send
and are able to befriend her. And she says anybody that finds her, Skinner told her to give them the actual location of him.
So it can send statistics and diagnostics to the.
No, I get that, but you wouldn't have a special frequency for it.
Yeah, you would.
Right? No, you fucking encrypt the data, right?
Yeah, it's an encrypted signal. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's an encrypted data signal that's going out that only one person can actually access.
Okay, no,
they track the signal.
Gosh, there's such a difference.
There's a difference in that. I'm sorry, I used the wrong terminology there. So they find out what the ID of his heart monitor is, so they can track the encrypted signal back to what's her name, the hacker.
The bus girl.
Anyway,
okay, cool.
Yes.
Popcorn.
And then she says, Popcorn Wizards, yes. Whoever finds her, Skinner told her, give them the actual key so that they can track him down. And that's where they track him down to the homeless encampment.
Okay, right, okay. I think we've talked too much about this.
We have.
It's just... Again. Let's get out of spoilers. It's just... Again, if it had 24 episodes, maybe. But as a backdoor pilot for a bigger show, I still don't think it works.
On the other hand, I did appreciate the amount of mocap and things they did for the combat.
Sure.
And the action animations, because it made them cut it and film and animate it like a live action movie where you've got them not quite hitting people and, not doing...
Oh, and the music...
full...
continues to never let up. Ever.
Yeah. Always music.
Ugh.
So it's always jazz, 24/7.
Yep. Not just jazz, but like what is that genre where it's like very discordant?
I know what you're talking about.
There's a particular type of jazz where it doesn't really follow any pattern. Anyway.
Oh, the freestyle. Right.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'm going to talk.
Okay, see what you want.
I'm going to talk about Kowloon generic romance.
Okay.
The one that's getting the live action series.
generic romance. And I'm giving this a 5-star pass. Right?
Okay.
The shift in tone is massive.
Palpable.
Right? Yeah. So the show starts that there is a mystery going on in the world, and it focuses on our two characters that are currently on the screen, our two main characters. And there's obviously some sort of romantic love interest going on between them. But the issue with the show is it slowly shifts gears and makes it more about the Kowloon itself than
wait, is Kowloon the name of the place they're at?
The city.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Right. So there's a mystery going on with the city, and the show shifts gears to make it about the city. And each character has influence, an invested interest in their sort of own mystery within the city. So it becomes less about our main two characters and more about the city itself. Now, I think the problem that the show suffers is adapting the source material is too difficult. They are trying to
match the manga so closely.
No, they're trying to squeeze too much in. Right? So they end up introducing
another show that needs 24 episodes instead of 12. Gee.
Quite possibly. But at the same time, so they're introducing more characters as the show goes on. They're introducing quite interesting concepts. But like, you get an inkling as to what you think the mystery is, probably from about episode 6 or 7, right? And you're left hanging on that, or at least I worked out what the mystery was really early on, and you're left hanging on that until about episode 10, and you're just like, wait, I thought I fucking worked this out ages ago. Why are they only just working this out now? Right? The important characters are only just. I'm very confused. Why is this only right? Anyway, but it does get a satisfying conclusion, but there are so many unexplained phenomena, right? So even though it has, like, air quotes here, a happy ending, you are left with like a sour taste in your mouth. Yes, okay, fine, I got an ending that I'm happy with, but what about all my questions that are never going to get answered? Yeah. The animation art style of the show remains top notch, bar the second to last episode. Right? They cut some corners in that episode, but I love the sort of 1990s anime vibe of the show. It really plays well to the aesthetic. They did. Honestly, this is a really good show, but I hate the fact that the story focuses so much more on the city than the romance. Does that make sense?
Do you think it would have been better if it had like, let's say you have to have the city stuff, right? Do you think it would have been better if they'd focused more on that from the start? Or do you think you needed these two as a way to introduce you to the city?
No, if they were going to focus on the city, they should have done more in the start. Like, they should have introduced other characters early on and things like that. The problem was that because they focused so much on just these two characters for like the first half of the series, yeah, they introduced the odd character here and there, but they don't really make a thing of those characters until the second half of the series, and it's just like, why am I watching this? I don't care about these people. Like, you made me invested in these other characters. It's very similar to Sama Spider So What, because the first 11 episodes were all about Spider, and then they completely shift gear and make it about the kids, and it's just like, I don't care about these kids. I have no invested interest in these kids because you introduced them so late on. I don't even know who the fuck these kids are. Like, I don't know their names. I can't be bothered to remember them. And
I'm definitely talking about how to become ordinary next, because all right. Sorry, continue.
I think that's it. I think if you like the mystery, if my review has helped you prepare for the more city-based mystery than the romance-based mystery, then maybe you'll enjoy this more than I did. Maybe you'll rate this higher than I did. But I had to wait until the whole thing was out before I finished it, because I was just getting so frustrated. There you go.
That's fair. Right. Thaylien.
Okay. Pick one.
I've been killing slimes for years. That should be 300 years, surely. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it takes out the numbers. Don't you remember, Xeno?
Yeah, I don't know why. I'll have to look at that.
All right. This is an acquired taste, 3 stars. This one hasn't changed all that much, but it did go up in my estimations. It's still a fantasy slice of life, and the theme they picked up for the season of go to new place, meet new character for the background cast, have shenanigans. It's all the same.
Is this the right background image? This is still the Kowloon.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hit the thing. I didn't hit the thing. Sorry.
Yeah. So, what gained them the extra star in all of this is the inventiveness of those side characters. We have the episode of the author's mostly disguised fetish of wanting to be babied by a motherly woman in the form of a droplet spirit early on, but she's followed by interactions with the original goddess that sent our main character to this world, who's been demoted to a local goddess because she kept reincarnating people as cute girls. The traditional beach episode was made different by meeting a jellyfish spirit that paints tragic and disturbing paintings of the darkness within each person she meets. But one of the paintings leads the gang to a dead city that's haunted by all the spirits that used to live there, including their queen, who has turned her burial pyramid into a dungeon that you'd see in a video game. So they have to progress through the dungeon to find the queen spirit and then invite her out because she's a neat.
Oh my god.
Luckily from the first season, they have their own ghost character who becomes her friend and gets her to come out and actually meet her people again. There's, some of the returning characters get some nice expansions, like Beelzebub, the of the demons, getting an episode about how she was given her title and property with the position of becoming the second command, but basically lives in 3 rooms because she can't take care of the house at all. The Demon Queen herself becomes an idol, and the only people that barely get anything are the original cast. They get nice moments, but they're here to react to all the new things. It's a middle-of-the-road slice of life. It's a nice setting, nice world building, but definitely not the show for anyone that wants a bit of action, drama, or even that much adventure. I don't think I'll pick this up if it comes back for a 3rd season, because I enjoyed it more when it was go to a place, find an interesting character, have shenanigans, they join the main cast. That main cast character was found. And they even had the powerful MC, the main character, punching dragons out of the sky or terrifying the most powerful demons. It shifted out of that. I mean, the show definitely has its niche, and the people who are into the slice of life genre, which I sometimes am, they will definitely have a little warm smile on their face as they watch from the interactions with the characters. But that's about it. It's middle of the road, state average, inventive, but still only for people who like slice of life quite a lot.
Right.
Fair enough. Nice and quick.
I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level season 2.
Oh yeah, we haven't been saying the names at the end again. Oh, disappointing.
Yeah, I remembered it for this one.
Sorry, that one listener on the podcast, the audio version. Right, you don't get a choice on the next one. I'm doing Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary, Season 2.
How to Become Ordinary.
Because Xeno was talking about mystery in Kowloon generic romance and how it didn't work, even though it switched to, because it switched to other characters. And I think Shoshimin does this so well, among other things, that I have to talk about it. So this was a must-watch one. It has moved up to a must-watch 4-star because of just
now
stars will show up. Just how good this season was. I love that this show can outsmart me, and yet it makes perfect sense with all the clues there. If you go back and look at it, or if you can remember the clues as you're going along, it all comes together. And there is
I apologize. Can I interject?
They
Skinner! I apologize. I couldn't help myself. Yes,
but it doesn't do it like that.
No. I'm trying to imply that the creators thought that was a viable way of making it clever. I'm like,
no. So there are romance elements to this as well, but it's very different from your usual romance or slice of life. It's closer to Erased, but not quite as creepy, and definitely without the time travel elements. So Kabato, our main character, or Kabato, admits he solves mysteries just for the thrill. The helping the public good is just kind of a side benefit. He would do this whether or not it helped anyone else. Osanai, the girl, admits she enjoys getting revenge on people, but only people that really deserve it. So these two are clearly psychopaths or sociopaths in their own way, but they've kind of learned how to harness it and control it to some degree. So in the first half of this season, we had an arsonist plot that has all been resolved in a very interesting, sort of brutal way that has brought our main characters back into focus, right? So for the first half of the season, our main characters were not really in focus. The two that we'd spent time with in season 1, no longer there. It was a new character. I mean, they were, but they were kind of in the background. It was all about this new character that was working for the newspaper, the school newspaper, and an arson case that was going on. And that all wraps up, and now we're back to our regular characters, which is part of what I think works better than Kowloon generic romance, right? We do shift away from them, but then they're always sort of there in the background as part of it, and they're brought back in slowly until the focus is once again on them. I don't want to give away too much in this final arc, because the mystery is part of the fun. But Kabato does suffer a pretty tragic event that puts him in the hospital. Yes. And from that point on, it becomes a mystery about something in his past that has now come back to the present to sort of... you sort of reap what you sow, karmic justice, that sort of thing. But the mystery behind that is so good, I actually did not see it coming. Which is what I mean about the show outsmarting me, right? I picked up on a lot of things that were going on, but not the actual truth that they finally ended on. It also ends in much like season 1. It ends in a way that could stop right there. They essentially are going off to college now, right? So she's going before him because his time in the hospital has set him back. so he has to like make up half the year or some shit. And so she's like, oh, that gives me plenty of time to set up a mystery for you to solve when you come there to try and find me. So there could be a season 3. I wouldn't mind having a season 3, but it could 100% end here, and I'd be just as fine with that. Really good show.
Nice.
Really, really good show. Right. So that was How to Become Ordinary season 2. Do you have any questions?
I'm not
great to have a must watch on the list. 4-star must watch, because I'm skipping my must watch this season.
It won't be the last.
To Be Hero is my must watch of the season, and I'm not reviewing it today. Hush you.
Right. No, it can just get in the bin because it's garbage. Right. So, I think I want to talk about I'm the evil overlord of an intergalactic empire.
You are? Since when?
Yes.
Yes. So, I think, Nasuth, you did start watching this, didn't you?
I did. I made it to, I think, the 3 or 4 episode mark, and then I was kind of done with it.
Okay, so in all honesty, I can't remember what I gave this before. I think this is like a nothing special 4-star, maybe a nothing special 3-star. So go 4. Go 4.
Always round up. So 3.5, we go to 4.
I don't think that this is the best animation. Hilariously, the mecha is significantly better CG than hand animated. That's impressive, genuinely, right? I mean, like, GQuuuuuuX, the Gundams and the Zaku and
CGI.
And they looked good, but I don't understand. I don't understand why in Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, they decided, hey, do you know what's a good idea? Let's just hand animate the hard parts. I'm like, what? Anyway, so Nasuth, you're 100% spot on with all the plot. You worked this out very, very quickly. I don't think the plot tried to be anything amazing, but
nope. Yeah, I don't expect something super deep from this. I expect something light and fun and easy.
And dumb hijinks, right?
Yeah.
I felt that dealing with one of the villains took too long, right? They spent a long time fixating on one of the narrative points, but they do actually bring it to a conclusion comparatively early. Our guide is up to no good. He's up to shady shit, as one expects. It's very on the nose with that. But I did like what happened towards the end of the series. If you've got nothing better to do, you've watched way too much this season, and you're just looking for some dumb fun, something you can basically turn your brain off, I would say give
Watch
I'm an Evil Lord. Huh?
Watch Windbreaker.
Yeah. Fuck off when you're Windbreaker. Watch Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, right? But if you're actually after anything with decent substance, you're barking up the wrong tree entirely, right? I'd like to jump into spoilers for a hot second.
Sure.
Because I want to talk about the end of the series. And giving it a little bit for anyone that wants to not listen to this. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that the emotion vampire, for lack of a better term, shows up again towards the end, and they have to fight him off using the power of friendship.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nothing like it.
So the emotion vampire turns up multiple times throughout the series, right? And he's trying to twist stuff so that he empowers
the enemies of our Overlord.
What's our kid called?
Liam.
What's the kid? Liam. Yeah, I fucking hate Liam. Sorry, I hate the name Liam for personal reasons. But sorry if you're called Liam.
Lord Sarah Banfield, you could call him.
There you go, Lord Sarah Banfield. But anyway, so the vampire turns up, and he then tries to corrupt Liam's family. After they've been dicks, he tries to corrupt Liam's parents and grandparents to effectively oust Liam as the current ruler of the Banfield domain.
Because now that he's made it profitable again, they can come suck out the profit.
Yes, they can. Yeah. So it's hilarious because they basically take it to the Arch-Chancellor of the Dukedom, and the Arch-Chancellor's like, fuck off! He actually pays taxes! Right?
You lot never did.
You lot never fucking did. You fucking bummed off of us like something chronic. You know, he's made the... No, fuck off! Just fuck... And it's hilarious how, like, they think that this plan to rag on the current Lord was going to work. And it's just like, wow, I'm so glad that someone had common sense to turn around and say, fuck off. So I did like that. I'm fine with the turn offs.
I just feel like the emotional vampire has taken a hit in his ability to plot, because why did he not get the magistrate, but the Duke, like, why didn't he get him into trouble?
Hold on.
Then, you know, somebody else might be in place to give them back their...
What he wants is to have... he's opportunistic. He wants people to suffer and to cause other people to suffer so that he can...
Yeah, but his scheming in getting this guy and his wife, both, and the boss, all of them screwed, was pretty great. So and in this one, he's like,
that's more opportunistic again. That's more opportunistic.
He's trying he's trying to knock Liam down, right? Because the greater the fall, the better the emotions.
I get that.
Right?
I get that.
Right. So when the family gets knocked down by Liam, right? He gets a little bit of something, but he wants Liam, right? And basically, it's just this one part of the narrative. He tried to get Liam to... he tried to get the family to be his pawns. Maybe there has to be a condition that they have to be, like, scheming, conniving. They have to be at a low point.
They have to be against him already. They have to have a grudge against Liam in the first place. For him to manipulate that grudge.
It's kind of implied, but it's not outwardly explicitly stated. Right? So I get where you're coming from, Nasuth, but I think that basically the emotion vampire wouldn't be able to manipulate the Chancellor because the Chancellor...
Well, that's why I was saying get him ousted, but yeah, fair enough, fair enough. It might work as well. Like, might not work as well. Fair enough.
I do like some of the touches in this one. Like, I like the fact that... Yeah, turn off the spoilers. So, I mean... I do like some of the nice little storytelling touches they put in this one. It's not massively special or anything, but you know, the home planet, you see that it's weed overgrown and ramshackle huts at the start, but you don't notice it. Then it goes up and they start developing their own culture.
That one bar you see getting repaired better.
Yeah, that one bar.
Yeah,
and it even towards the end, you even see that she's moved the bar to a classy, high-end, high-rise building.
Yeah,
and that the guy that keeps coming in and ordering as usual is now a intergalactic trader. He's actually trading between planets. You know, it's moved so far up the economy.
And they're completely praising.
That is a world building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the owner of the bar is now a high-end hostess that employs lots of other people to do her work for her. That kind of thing. You know, it's a fun little. It's not a especially great one, but it's a little romp through this other world. Our guy wants to become an evil lord, but accidentally ends up being a really good one because, he can't be an evil overlord if his planet's in debt. So he has to fix that first. He can't be a tyrannical ruler without a functioning economy to be tyrannical over.
Yeah, I think the only thing that prevents this show from being a acquired taste is the quality of the animation, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the environments need a serious sprucing up. The quality of the characters needs a sprucing up. Like, I feel that if they had that higher end budget, the show would have been easily an acquired taste. But I enjoyed it, and that's whether or not you enjoy it is the important thing.
Something you might not notice, they didn't make it clear, but because it's got future tech and magic in it, all the people age slowly. So the main character.
What are you talking about? It's like the first fucking episode. Like, they go on about.
No. But they don't make a big deal of it after that throughout. So, for example, at the end of the show, it only mentioned again at the end of the show that he's actually in his 40s.
Yeah. I'm well aware.
It's mentioned in that first episode that people live longer, but then it's not made a deal of all the way through until that last episode where they mentioned that he's going to be turning 50 soon.
Yeah.
And he still looks like he's an early tween.
I get it. Yeah.
So it's weird.
Anyway. Not that weird. Anyway. Right, let's move on to...
at work.
Oh, God, no. No, that's the balloon. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. Right, let's move on. Go on, Thaylien.
Okay. 3 left. Pick one.
Your weird fetish one, the Kakushite
Makina-san. This is I can't believe it's not hentai.
Wait, that's the wrong one. Wait, that's the wrong one.
You pressed the wrong button. That's spoilers.
Oh, God.
Actual rating at the end. Because my God above, lords and ladies watching over, this show is earning its rating.
Okay,
the one from
if you're putting the rating at the end, right, you are capped at 5 minutes.
Okay. It's both from me and the 18+ rating at the start of the show.
Okay.
They occasionally remember to do the white glow sensor of one specific female part if it's at an angle where it be genuinely exposed. But nipples are on full display regularly, and even go so far as no censorship if the lower part is just turned out of view. And they sometimes just don't draw it in and pretend it's censored. And after episode 6, every single episode contains Yeeture having that kind of dream and waking up in some way. That said, this show could be genuinely hilarious at times. Episode 7, for example, I'm just going to say this because it's not to do with the plot at all, is titled Makina Becomes a Ghost Story. There's a bunch of shenanigans, but the important part of the episode is that the landlady thinks that our boy Yeeture is watching stuff a little loud on TV, comes to check the room, and Makina is being helped up into the roof space to hide, but drops her head, which is left hanging by her hair from one hand, drenched in red light by the setting sun, and she makes eye contact with the landlady, while slowly pulling her head out of view. At the same time, Makina's friend has found Yeeture's house while looking for Makina, and opens the door to see the landlady full spread fainted on top of Yeeture from that encounter. She recoils so hard she bangs her head on the railing outside, causing it to bleed onto her face. And because Makina's friend doesn't know who that is on the floor, she believes that Yeeture must be doing something wrong. And she puts on, and I kid you not, a set of knuckle dusters that's got a prostate massager attached.
I'm sorry. What?
Literally like this. Prostate massager knuckle duster. Okay? And she breaks down the door with blood streaming down her face and this weapon thrust forwards, which causes the landlady to faint again, but not before scaring off the friend by screaming in terror.
Japan,
okay.
Japan, are you okay?
No, okay. Let's be fair, Nasuth. Right, I am for the ability to express oneself without weird policing crap.
Oh
right?
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. We have some absolutely atrocious shows, like anything Thaylien reviews. right? But sorry. But it allows us to have great creativity, right? That typically would be shunned in the West. So
I can still ask if they're okay. All right.
Okay, fair enough. The answer is maybe.
In the effort of keeping this below the 5-minute mark, they introduced new robotic characters. They introduced random slice of life silliness, and it is quite often hilarious. The show's unhinged, both in the sheer amount of softcore nudity and the amount of brain-melting ridiculous situations. I laughed at almost everything, and I have now reached a point of Zen meditation where I can shed my mortal desires of the flesh to allow me to watch it without giving in to desire to find something just a little bit more, explicit to alleviate the blue balls it can create. I do not recommend watching this show. But my rating, if you want to ignore that warning, is a nothing special 5 stars, up from 4 stars at the 6 episode mark.
Okay.
Now, Xeno, whip out your prostate.
Oh God. I do not want that to be one of the other random ass sayings that we end up coming up with. It's okay if it's done right.
Too late.
Come, brothers, whip out your prostate.
Bond merger.
Oh. Anyway.
Right.
People at home, I'm going to push for it to become one.
Well, we're saving Apothecary Diaries for last, so...
Obviously.
Do you want to hear about Loser Ranger? All right.
Poopy Ranger.
Poopy Ranger is...
The Stinky Hole Ranger.
So this was an acquired taste 0. It's moved up a little bit to not much, just a little bit, to an acquired taste 2-star. Things actually happened this season, which is spectacular compared to season 1, where kind of nothing happened until the very, very end. Literally like the last 2 episodes. Anyway, this season was actually enjoyable. Developed the characters in ways I didn't expect. It started revealing things about the world at large. Motivations got to be more clear and understandable. And if there's a season 3, it's got promise. I might continue watching this. And let's face it, I probably will. So the first half of the season was they were investigating a school where one of the boss monsters was lurking, essentially creating his own little time loop bubble universe thing. They destroyed him. We met a new character named Chidori. Turns out Chidori is the Green Ranger. And he saw D transforming, so he knows that D is a fighter and not just a normal. And yet doesn't turn him in. Which starts off an interesting trend of people figuring out who he is. But because he's helped them and worked with them, and hasn't seemingly settled his loyalties one way or another, they kind of are fine with him. And this works out to their advantage in the end. Because when things start heating up, weird alliances start to form. Let's just say that. There is the public opinion actually starts to flip against the Rangers because more stuff is being revealed about them. More stuff about them is getting into the public eye. Partially thanks to one of the boss monsters, the guy wearing the bag on his face, who we've seen for most of this season. But partly just in general, they're kind of doing it to themselves. It turns out that this is also because there is a group of people who say that they're about protecting monsters and want monsters and humans to live in harmony together, right? There's no reason for them to be fighting at this point, so they say. I won't get into how that gets turned to absolute garbage, and because it's the climax of the season. I don't want to give away the climax of the season, but there's a twist. Let's just say there's a twist. We learn more about the Yellow Ranger, not Yellow Ranger, but the girl that's working with D, in the yellow uniform. She's one of the yellow crews. We learn a lot more about her, and more about where the dragon relics came from. And I mean, just so much stuff gets revealed in this season. And there's no tournament arc at the end, which is incredible. Thank goodness, no tournament arc. Gosh, I don't know what to say without giving away things. All the other fighters do, like, from the fortress, they get to have a moment to shine as well in their own way. Again, not wanting to give anything away. There is one thing that I really, really didn't like that really kind of broke me out of my immersion in this season. There's a point where they are kind of trapped in another pocket dimension sort of thing. This is again towards the very end, and it's kind of like a game of Ninja Warrior or what have you, where they have to go through an obstacle course to get to the end, and that's the only way to survive.
Oh, right.
D is in his fighter form. He's not pretending to be what's his name at this point, and he could just turn into dust and fly up there. But he's acting like he can't do that for some reason, and that really annoyed me. It's like, dude, especially later on when the other fighters show up and they're doing that. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, if they'd said that the monster that trapped them there made it so he couldn't do that, that'd be one thing. No mention of that, so it's just annoying. But other than that, I really enjoyed this. I like the way that D has been trying to kind of be an asshole, but he's ended up making allies and friends anyway. It's really kind of cool.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a season 3. Much better than season 1 though. And I can't recommend actually watching this if you have to watch, season 1 might be a struggle to get through, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
Go Loser Ranger.
Let's go Loser Ranger.
Improving.
I'd say this season is better than season 2 of Solo Leveling, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Food for the Soul.
Okay.
Can someone change it for me, because I accidentally broke something on my PC. So last season, 6 episode mark, I gave Food for the Soul an Acquired Taste 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to leave it where it is or drop it down a peg or two. And I feel I'm going to give it an Acquired Taste 2-star. Alright. It still has its strong slice of life origins. They maintain the persistency of like going to different parts of Japan to look up how to do various different things, like how do I prepare this kind of food, let's go to this part of Japan and enjoy this different kind of meal and things like that, but there's no real sense of development, which is what you often get with slice of life stuff, right? With Bocce the Rock, you can certainly say that the relationship between Bocce and anyone else improves over time, right? The Kitsu band actually becoming more band members and becoming more fluent with music and stuff like you feel like they are making progress through life. Things with My Dress Up Darling, where you've got our two main protagonists who are growing through what it becomes to be a cosplayer, professional cosplayer and things like this, or duo or whatever.
costume maker and...
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but with Food for the Soul, you don't see that degree of growth. It's very similar to Laid Back Camp. If you've seen Laid Back Camp, and you like Laid Back Camp, this is 100% up your alley, right? Laid Back Camp is all about the chill vibes, right? That's what this is. This is chill vibes around food, not around camping, right? It is a decent series. It's not the best thing in the universe, but I think that if you've got, I'm hanging out with my mates and we want chill vibes, this is a chill vibes. I'd probably say wait for it to come out in English if it's going to get an English dub, and watch that. Yeah, does that make sense at all?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
It
rambling.
makes good sense. It's the
idea
that it's just a good vibe.
Yeah, it's just chill vibes.
Doesn't make you think about things. Just makes you enjoy.
Yeah. So 100% chill vibes, enjoy. That's it. Food for the soul.
Makes sense.
Some people turn their brain off with dumb actions. Xeno turns it off with cute little slice of life stuff.
With dumb vibes.
Yeah.
I had to definitely turn my brain off to watch the end of GQuuuuuuX.
What do you mean? There's so much deep symbolism there. It's
deep something. Right, Thaylien.
I want to finish on Fire Force, so I would be doing the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows.
Cool. Nasuth, I still need you to do
do I still... Okay, sorry.
Notes. Yeah, sadly. Right, there's my notes.
Which one is this?
So, that'll be in T. Yeah, and the orange coat. So, this show is an acquired taste 2-star. My only real complaint, as it stands with this show, is that it kind of got a little lost in the second half. As if there should have been a 2-course show, but didn't have enough budget or source material to actually achieve it. But not in a terrible way. We go through the first 6 episodes of dealing with the fairly standard I was kicked out of my party story, with some of the same story beats of meeting girls who grow to admire his talents, getting himself a place in the community, and then facing off against his former team, not just one of them in this case, who resent their luck going south when he left. Then the next 6 episodes is him being called to the Healers Academy to basically be a spy for one of the high-ranking healers, against a manipulative and power-hungry healer with a dark past. Cue some intrigue, an ending where it's basically, yeah, I'm the main character, I get to save everyone, and add in a twist that this whole arc of the 6-episode arc was actually just a secondary plot by the assassin that tried to kill him in the first half. That wasn't anything to do with him. So it just kind of like, oh, okay, you just ruined my plots. And it's like a little twist at the ending, saying, oh yeah, so this whole thing, I didn't expect you to come here and ruin my plot of getting this guy into power and killing everybody. Never mind then. It's just above middle of the road. I wasn't let down by this show. It maintained that same quality I saw in the first half. It ditched some of the action side of things because it didn't have the animation budget to do big action scenes as much. And the main character stayed this steady force for good without being the overpowered protagonist trope. The only reason he didn't become the overpowered protagonist, though, is because there really wasn't any reason for him to do that. There weren't stakes that needed him to do that. Outside of one battle against his former team and some zombies, it was basically able to use basic healing spells and a high heal to get the job done, but he just comes off as a protagonist that's practiced these 2 low-level spells a lot more than the others, rather than just being overpowered.
So does he heal punch anyone?
No, he does not. In fact, he doesn't. In fact, he barely ever punches anybody. There's the one scene in the episode 6 where he transforms his little energy scalpel into an energy sword, but he's doing the same thing.
God.
He's cutting away the harmful magic and then healing up somebody as he's operating on them. He just needs a bigger scalpel, basically, to get it done. Because it's carving off chunks out of people. I think they could have done with an action finish of the show, but I'm okay with the way it went because it didn't play into that power fantasy thing. But I will say, the people making the show are very, very confident that they're getting a sequel. Because they teased a whole load of new characters in the end credits of the final episode. They all these people that like walking by and noticing him, or just like looking up from a book, in the end credits that we've never seen before. It's a completely adequate show, not for everybody, but solid for people who like this kind of genre. Again, I've said this, there's better shows this season, but it was nice that one of the ones I wasn't expecting more from didn't turn out terrible.
It's reveling in its adequacy.
And that surprisingly puts it higher up in the rankings of shows this season by not letting me down from my admittedly low standing point.
Call that low, Jesus Christ.
Right.
My original standing point just wasn't expecting that high in the first place. So my expectations were not high, but it didn't go down.
My thing was like, Thaylien said like it didn't let me down, and like I wanted to segue in and going like I let it down.
Oh yes, that was something I think I said about GQuuuuuuX actually. Was it spends 6 episodes letting itself down, and then. So no, so it spent 6 episodes letting itself down, then spent the rest of 6 episodes letting me down.
Yeah. Oh God, GQuuuuuuX, so much promise.
Go on, Nasuth.
Right, so that was the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. I am moving on to Windbreaker. Windbreaker, a fart in the local area. There's a disturbance in the fart. Sorry. This was Windbreaker Season 2. It wasn't Acquired Taste 4.
Stop being so childish.
I know. It wasn't Acquired Taste 4. This show has been steadily trending upwards for me. It is now a must-watch 0. If I can make the stamps work. There we go. Again, you still have to like Chanbara, so that's why I can't rate it any higher than this. It is a must-watch, but you still need to go in realizing that it's Chanbara and be okay with Chanbara, which again is the genre where it's like samurai stories and blah blah blah. I was also really worried that this show was going to get like season 1 and the beginning of season 2 has been kind of drilling in the same lesson into Sakura, where he needs to depend on others. So first it was you need to open up to others, right? Then it was, you can't defend them, you need to trust them to defend themselves. Which again comes down to he needs to work with them, not try to be the solo guy who's doing it all himself, right? I was worried he was going to continue to have to learn that lesson. Thank goodness they've gotten past that now. Even our cowardly, annoying comic relief sort of character, our Zenitsu, if you will, he's even blonde, actually starts to learn his own lesson now, where he wants to actually be able to help. He doesn't want to just be the guy observing, writing notes and stuff. He actually wants to be able to help, but he's a coward. So they're trying to teach him a style that fits him, and he actually does manage to help out. We've moved on into a red light district sort of story, where we have a princess, for lack of a better term, who comes from low origins and is now like the prized person in the red light district. Not for like erotic dancing or anything, but because she has a really amazing voice and just a generally good upbeat presence, right? And one of the things they talk about in the red light district is that it's not just for pornographic whatever have you. There are actual artists here that couldn't do their art anywhere else for whatever reason. And they are being threatened by an outside gang who want to take her back to where her origins came from. And this ends up leading us towards the end of the season into what is going to be, I think, an actual war. Because they've started talking, like, the very end of it, they essentially start a war council. Imagine, again, samurai, right? And they have the person that they're going to fight is from their school, but left once they changed Thurin into this protecting group rather than just another gang, a gang of toughs, right? So this is the one person that the leader of Bofurun has never been able to beat. The guy left on his own because he didn't want to be there anymore. So, like, this is building up to be a really good samurai showdown sort of thing, and I am excited for it. I loved where the season went. I loved the new character development that we got with it. I loved that it didn't involve another tournament arc. It was all like free for alls. I loved the development of the red light district and the rest of the city. It's everything about this season was excellent. I'm very pleased.
Improving and improving. Given that Xeno says pretty much the same thing about Danmachi, where it starts off not... The first season is the worst one, but that's, by comparison, and it just gets better and better. This seems to be doing the same.
But again, you do have to like Chanbara stuff. You do have to be able to understand that this is samurai, historical, spaghetti western drama sort of thing.
Yes. I was about to ask, isn't Chanbara the spaghetti western shenanigans?
Yes.
Right. Are we good for me to move on?
Yeah, so that was
this is your last
Windbreaker.
one.
Right. Now, I'm going to do Rock is a Lady's Modesty. Now, this is one that I picked up.
Yeah.
I think I started this last weekend and pretty much binge watched the whole thing. Like there was like an episode or two that I hadn't. Yeah, so it must have been the weekend before. Like there was just like a couple of episodes that hadn't come out yet, and I have to say that this. Oh God, what would I give this?
I give this a picture of a door.
Don't hit anything yet.
Okay.
Right? A large part of me feels that this is a must-watch 2-star, right? But I don't know if I just am having rose-tinted glasses because I binge-watched the whole thing in like pretty much one go, which I do think has a substantial impact. I do think that this is one of the better shows of the season, and I hate the fact that I didn't start this from the get-go. The more I'm talking about this, I'm gonna say this is a 2-star must-watch, right?
Nice.
And so because I've not covered this at all, the whole premise is that we have our main female protagonist who has come from like a more commoner background, and she has basically been brought into a wealthy high-class family. So she feels that she's constantly under the microscope, and she wants to do this for her mum. She wants to effectively break out of the social norms of the commoners and help her mum establish herself, help her mum establish her mum in high-class society. and she's what's called our main protagonist, who's this blonde girl here. She goes to this procedure school, and so she's got to get like top grades in everything, right? She can't just skirt on by, and so she takes on more responsibilities as frequently as she can. And she joins the student council, and she's trying to get this title, which effectively means that you are I think valedictorian is something that you call it in America.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like student
Basically
of
head
the
your
year.
class.
Yeah. So you're student of the year, and but she is absolutely awful at the violin, right? I think she's got like daily or weekly lessons with her teacher, and her stepsister is great at the violin, but she just sucks at it, right? Turns out she's a guitarist, right? And she got that from her dad. Now, her dad's not in the picture anymore. We don't know why he's not in the picture anymore. That never gets explained. But she ends up running into another like high-class student from her year. Not her class, but her year. And that high-class student drops a guitar pick. So main protagonist picks up the guitar pick and tries to give it back to the student, but she doesn't want to be seen unladylike, so she can't be seen handing over this guitar pick, and she doesn't want to damn the other protagonist. This is the other protagonist here at the drum kit. Right. And ultimately she is trying to track it down, and she follows the other protagonist, the purple-haired girl, to the old school building. And in the old school building, she finds her just going ham on the drums, right? Not bad ham, good ham. This is very, very high-cut ham, right? So she's very good at playing the drums. So she hands over the pick, and the drummer realizes that she is actually a guitarist. She's got calluses on her fingers, right? Where a guitarist would have them. And the drummer starts... What?
If Purple Hair is a drummer, why does she have a guitar pick?
That is relevant and does get explained, right?
Okay. All right. So, okay, as long as it's not a plot hole.
No. So it does get explained. But anyway, so she, so the drummer, so the guitarist is like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, these I never play the guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar. And effectively, effectively, the drummer starts cussing her out, basically calling her a nobody, a wannabe. She doesn't know how to play the guitar. She's never known how to play the guitar. She sucks.
Hit her pride.
Right? And that is when our guitarist shows her what for, right? She grabs one of the guitar. She grabs one of the guitars that is in like a locker in the same classroom as the drums. And she starts going ham as well, right? And they are effectively trying to show off to each other. And the grins on their faces are just satanic in nature. It is just... Now, that's the first episode, right? I'm not going to spend any longer talking about that, because otherwise we're going to be here for God knows how long.
Fair enough.
The show has incredible CGI elements to it, right? They actually have CGI hands doing the animation. They don't just animate the relevant parts to playing the instruments. They animate the whole character, and they do an extremely good job. This is probably one of the best aside from like anime movies, this is probably one of the best animated CGI people I have seen in anime, right? And the story is very slice of lifey, but exceptionally music focused. It's up there with things like your boy Kong Ming, but I genuinely really enjoyed this. They do spend a lot of time playing music. You do hear the music and everything, but one of the great things about it is they try not to be your stereotypical music band with a vocalist. They try to be just an instrumental band, and they realize how much of a back foot that is, but they don't care. They're playing the music for the music, and they will enamor people with the music. So honestly, it's a great series. I highly recommend this one. I couldn't get enough of it, but I like this kind of weird shit.
Different shit from the weird shit I watch.
I would say your sentence, but remove the weird in front of your shit.
Wow. Speaking of shit, Fire Force, huh? No, that was Rock as a Lady's Modesty. Tina loves it. Honestly, it does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah. I really wish I started it sooner.
Sorry, Thaylien. It was just right there, just sitting there waiting for somebody to make that joke.
Yep. What a horrible person.
I haven't even watched Fire Force.
Such low-hanging fruit that I'm not surprised that Xeno's lowbrow went for it.
Well, right. So it's my lowbrow, and then there's the lowbrow of Kakushite Makina-san.
Again,
so
just supporting my boy.
Sure.
Right.
Go on, Fire Force.
And it is funny. So, Fire Force Season 3. This is an acquired taste 5-star, which is up from 4-star, where I reviewed it last. And this, well, there's a massive cliffhanger at the end of the season. Because they've already announced the second core of the show is being released in January. So anybody that's thinking of watching this one, wait until it's closer to that, then watch, so that you don't get the same, at the end of the season. It's not right in the forefront of your mind. As for what's actually there in this season, it's genuinely good. We had a training arc at the end of the second season, so the characters are currently as powerful as they're going to get right now. So instead, this is like the durability test. This is where we put them all into fights against relevant bad guys. So in this season, the government has switched sides to side with the followers of the evangelist, the White Clad, and side with them on all their efforts. The plot's cleared up a bit, so we now see that the two sides, what the two sides are after. There are two sides to this whole world. The one we can see, and the one on the other side of the divide called the Adola. Adola is a hellish place full of black flame and death, but it contains mirrors of everybody in the world. The whole thing of powers over fire, spontaneous combustion, the actual plans of the White Clad are all revealed here, and things are moving pretty fast. The action is big, it's impressive and snappy. The side characters are amusing, instead of just, one of them being just fan service. They're actually funny. And their participation in the fights lends a kind of suitable level of silliness to lighten up the more serious nature of the rest of the fights, involving the serious characters. The writers obviously toned down that fan service I mentioned to highlight the more serious aspects of the plot. And I can only appreciate it in this show's case. There's diversions to keep the cast moving along and getting a bit stronger. Big reveals in terms of both important characters and in the overall plot. Like, the supporting main character is Arthur, who uses his fire powers to make a beam saber, basically. Not a lightsaber, just more of like a thermal blade that's so hot it actually can melt metal. And they reintroduce his family, who left him for as if he was an orphan for the majority of the show. And it turns out his dad is actually genuinely a prophet. And so he like recites back the plot of the show and everything we've had, revealed to us. Except there's no way he could know that at this time because it's not being released to the general public. Nobody else could know this. He just predicted it back when Arthur was 4, and so he and his wife abandoned the house to go live in the Undercity. It's silly, but also like, oh, so that's what's happened. And in an action shonen show like this, is exactly what I hope for. It's exactly what I hate when the cores are separated by fucking 6 months. God, that last episode with the on the next episode that refers to an episode that comes out in January just made me But if battle shonen is your thing, making it still an acquired taste, this is well worth the watch. If you like big action scenes, fire all over the place, pretty effects, and silly side characters to keep the humor going, you will love this. This is a 5-star for that. If it's not your thing, though, I can fully understand why you wouldn't watch this show. And of course, it is the 3rd season, so you have to have liked the first 2 to get here in that point as well. I have to say, this is a step up from the previous ones. It's getting better. I really enjoyed it.
So what you're saying is, if you're interested in that sort of thing, now's a good time to jump in and watch season 1 and 2. Binge it all the way through. That'll cover you for the 6 months that you need to get to the second half of this season.
Yes. Slowly, just work your way through.
Yeah, maybe not.
At a normal, not binge. Just like, the usual once a week schedule. You start on episode 1 now.
Yeah.
By the time you get to January, you'll have finished season 3, and that'll be great.
Right. Anything else I add?
That's Fire Force season 3. It's all self-contained.
All right. Well then, on to our very final
on the good one.
Oh, this is unsurprisingly the best show, probably the last 2 seasons. Wouldn't you say? Since this is a 2-core.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, either way, it gets unsurprisingly, a must-watch 5-star.
Whoa! No, wait, come on. It's got to get a must-watch 5-star.
I can't believe I didn't give it a must-watch 5-star. What's wrong with me?
You honestly,
no, that's not right. It needs to be a must-watch
5-star.
5-star now. Must-watch 5-star.
Absolutely
I knew
no
you were going
change.
to give it that. But
Yeah. Absolutely no change from last time. It is an epic and a classic in the making. We get, oh my gosh, there's just so much in this part of the season, and so much that I can't go into because it is spoilers. And the uncovering that mystery again is half the fun. I picked up on some stuff and other stuff I didn't realize. And I love that. Again, I love that when a show does that to me. That's the same thing I loved about How to Become Ordinary, is when you can definitely get some of it. And the rest of it also makes sense, but you may not realize it's coming, so you still get surprised. I love that so much.
Okay, so here's some questions for you, right?
Okay, all right.
How happy were you with the ending of the season?
I actually, because of how it ended, I have a prediction for next season. But I was pretty satisfied with it. I liked the reversal change, or the role reversal change between. Well, I guess I don't want to say the names, but the way one of them ended up staying in the palace and one of them didn't. That role reversal was great.
Okay. So, were there any parts of the show that you ever felt like, oh god, this is just dragging on?
No. Again, to be fair, I did binge the last 6 episodes. But before that, I didn't really feel it too much, and things were happening in every episode. Even though she was in the other place for several episodes, there was still stuff happening there. There was still character development going on. There were still, mysteries being revealed to us. So no, I don't feel like there was ever really any drag.
I did feel that this was one of the reasons why I rated Free Ren over Apothecary Diaries Season 1, was because with Free Ren, there was only like a tiny downward trend in speed.
Did you feel the bit with them looking was taking too long?
Hold on. Just let me finish. Let me finish. Right. So with Free Ren Season 1, I felt that the first test in the first class mage stuff, like the one with the bird, I felt that took too long.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That was 4 episodes long. Most of the like the tests and stuff were 4 episodes, right? But it was still like that one just felt particularly long because I think there was a lot of waiting around and stuff. With Season 1 of Apothecary Diaries, the second core has like a 4 to 8 episode stint where there's a lot, what feels to be very slice of lifey kind of events going on, but so it's not until like later on you realize oh shit, this is all tied together, right?
Everything is still tied together even now.
Yes, and I think that is the important stuff. So not only do you have events that are from Season 1 that are still relevant in Season 2, but you are like, you fooled me once, shame on you. Sorry, shame on me? Shame on you.
No, shame on you.
Right.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
No,
fool me twice. You can't get fooled again. That's the George W. Bush.
Anyway, but the whole point is that I think because of Season 1, you're left realizing that everything which being shown is going to be relevant, right? And
I think that's how I figured out what would happen with the kids at the end, because I knew everything is going to be relevant.
Get that. I completely because of how.
But I didn't get the cat. I didn't realize where the cat or Lowland. I didn't realize any of that, even though I should have.
Yeah. I didn't fucking get it either, and I realized that there was stuff, but it's just like I think this is one of the great mysteries of high quality production that is just incredible, that you have to know your mystery inside and out. You can't half-ass this shit.
Yeah, it feels like this was definitely planned from beginning to end.
Yeah, and you can't just twist things. You can't just go like, what a twist!
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, GQuuuuuuX. But again, like one of the reasons why I love Season 2 so much is that, God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I love GQuuuuuuX so much GQuuuuuuX, Jesus Christ, Apothecary Diaries so much, right, is because, you know, in Season 1, there's a hang-up that Loz has, right, and I think it's justified, where effectively Mao Mao saves Jinchi, right? I'm not going to go into details. She saves Jinchi, and she's never thanked for it, right? And Loz detests that. But in Season 2, they basically they highlight just how inferior women are treated across feudal China, and how the Emperor is trying to change that.
And it's not just that, it's just partly because she's a woman, but it's also the extreme differences in their status. She's a peasant, and he is not just a eunuch.
Yeah.
Not to give anything away.
Right.
He's a super eunuch.
Do you want to hear my prediction?
Not here because I kind of want to. I don't want to give
spoilers
that away
on, but
to
yeah,
the
that's fair.
audience.
That's fair.
No, I think we should just keep that to ourselves.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure there is stuff that I've worked out from season 1 that is still yet to be revealed in season 2. They have said things, but I don't think those are truthful things.
I did love the way that, you know how in the first part we had the shrine with the different colored doors in it, and that revealed something special about the royal family.
Oh, I instantly realized what the fuck they were doing with that.
Yes, when it came back again with the masks, I was like, I know where this is going. And they did reveal it like literally like 5 minutes later, so it's not a huge thing to pick up on, but still, I love the fact that they brought that back. It wasn't just a one-time thing.
I also like the I suppose, as cryptic as this can be, the family curse.
Yes.
Like, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But like, I love all of that. So I genuinely think like this is a contender for the Kanpai Cast anime of the year by far.
Easily.
Right. I don't think anything's come close to this. Right. And like,
we are still getting Freerun season 2 this year, so I think we are, aren't we?
No, we're not. It's next year.
Is it next year? Oh, okay.
January.
Never mind then.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't even know if Dan could outpace Apothecary Diaries. And like, I would expect not to see, because this is getting a season 3. I would expect season 3 to come out in 2027, right? And fair. Toho and OLM, they're knocking. This doesn't drop in quality ever.
I did notice a couple of weird walk cycles in angles and stuff, but generally speaking,
really?
Yes, I did. I'd have to go back and pick them out exactly, but only a couple in 24 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that.
Yeah. Right. Are we done?
I think we're done.
For the love of God, just go watch Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah.
Watch Apothecary
You really
Diaries.
should.
If you haven't watched Apothecary Diaries, go watch Apothecary Diaries. If you
watch
Apothecary Diaries,
thing
go watch Apothecary Diaries.
From all of our reviews, go watch Apothecary Diaries.
Fucking, it is so damn good. Right? I don't even know if Thaylien's been watching it. And if he hasn't...
Literally, when I say this is an epic, it has that grand scale to it.
I do need to watch it, but I was watching so much other stuff this season that I haven't.
Yeah, grab the dub. The dub's not bad.
And I shouldn't have been watching some of the other stuff I did watch, but you know,
yep, right.
I do know that Apothecary Diaries is waiting for me for when I have some downtime to be a really good show.
Well, it's over now, and I think the important thing is that we chose to delay this episode because of Apothecary Diaries. Like, that last episode could have flubbed it. That last episode could have just ruined the whole thing.
So
I'm glad that we did hold back. Right. Should we move on to the supporter questions?
Indeed. Let's.
Cool.
So this is where you guys that are signed up can support the show, and we listen to your questions. Specifically.
Right, so first of all, from Zrugal asks, if you like the show, help the channel grow like one of Rita Repulsa's monsters. Ew. Hit the like button and leave a comment for us down below. Zrugal also asks, the problem with owning a corgi is that you can't take them to the park because ducks will attack them. They really like pure bred ducks. Oh my god. Also, did you know that there's actually 2 breeds of corgis? One of them called the cardigan corgi. I think it's like the Pembroke cardigan corgi. Yeah, so there's the Welsh corgi, but then there's the cardigan corgi, which is like darker fur and everything. And it's just like, I didn't know there were 2 different breeds.
Yes, and
I must see this now.
Got them on screen right now. Where is it? Yeah, it's a
Oh, okay. So they look like kind of like Jack Russells, but corgis.
But then again, everything that crossbreeds with a corgi ends up looking like a corgi anyway.
Well, yes, as it's true.
Right. Moving on. Definitely not coffee flavored. Nasuth asks.
Nope. You skipped coffee covered in beans.
That's not what mine's named it.
Oh, weird.
Right, hold on. I think
no, that is the right one. That is the right one.
Okay.
He changed his name.
Coffee ellipsis covered in beans asks, the good thing about owning a cat is they don't need to be pure bred to loaf.
Less a question, more of a statement.
Cat's
Sure.
loaf.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee flavored Nasuth asks, the interesting thing about owning a duck is that it weighs the same as a witch and both float
True.
like pure bread.
Very true.
What kind of bread would you make an anime about?
I'd make it out several.
I've never watched GQuuuuuuX Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I make it about several different types of bread. Maybe the bread wanderer, and he goes around different parts of the world experiencing bread.
Try the rye or the Kaiser or the wheat or the white. Maybe I can suggest
Stop
an
it.
appetizer.
Stop it. Also,
You're gonna get us copyright struck. Thanks, Thaylien.
I would have them go to Italy and actually get like
Get French
focaccia and ciabatta and like get all these different types. Why French bread from
Italian
Italy?
loaf.
Right?
Oh.
And then get like all these different types of bread and pronounce them so that people know how to pronounce it.
Even better. So, we have to get them to go to India and show that them naan just means bread. So you can't have bread. You have different types of naan. It's like garlic naan.
Yeah.
All these other ones.
It's like fucking chai tea as well. It's just like you're just saying tea. Anyway, right. Coffee flavored Thaylien asks, in modern parlance, getting that bread means making money, which can be used to buy a cat or a duck, but strangely not a witch. Would you watch an anime about a duck that accidentally becomes a corporate wage slave because of a misunderstanding about which bread it was supposed to be getting?
Yes.
Sure, fuck it, why not?
Yes, 100%. It sounds amazing.
Right. Moving on.
No, he's got one more. He's got one more.
Oh, I don't have that one. Right. Something about Thaylien also asks, soy milk vanilla flavored coffee is a drink made out of 3 beans. Does this make it a soup?
No, because the beans don't actually end up in it. It'd be I don't know, a broth?
Vile. Just vile. Just go with
Could
vile.
be a broth.
Could be a broth.
Anyway, all right. Moving on to the comments from last week. I'm actually kind of worried that I'm not going to have the full thing, but maybe I do. Right, so first of all, from the news, Zrugel says, it's going to be one of those episodes. Thaylien giggling and Xeno already looks tired of shenanigans. That was the hot episode, wasn't it?
No,
we were hot.
Narrator voice.
Xeno
it was in
just
fact not
overheated.
one of those episodes.
Yes. And I was giggling because Xeno was melting.
Oh, I want those Scouter headphones.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Bad Xeno. Ponyo wasn't that bad. Yes, it was.
Yes,
I
it
enjoyed
was.
it. No, you didn't. Sure. It wasn't the best. No, it was the worst. But it was far from the worst. No, it was the worst.
Agree to disagree, Zrugel, on that
Cool.
one.
Thanks for the news, guys.
Do you have the
You're
Stromba shell?
welcome. Yep. Stromba Shell says, Nasuth, can you have the intern add puns into the stories? You fucking dare.
I could try.
You.
No. The titles are already punny enough.
Titles are fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No rumors this week. I've got one. There is a Mortal Kombat anime in the works. Source, I made it the F up. I mean,
Damn.
you made it up,
I mean,
then you know it's a rumor already.
I mean, they're doing a Street Fighter movie. Why not have another Mortal Kombat movie? The time has come.
Right, and now let's move on to the comments from the cast. Strom Michelle says, I wish there was an example of secret identities adding a thrilling layer of suspense and depth. Like if the character's mask or identity is just to keep us guessing, build tension and make a character reveal actually impactful. Specifically a hero. I think the hidden villain or double-cross character has been done a fair bit already, but sadly, I can't think of any. Yeah, I mean, like, people want to know who the...
I'm sure there's got to be one, but I can't think of it either. I think of one either.
Was a good list, though. Thanks for the weekend entertainment. Usually, I only bring up the meme archive when something is wrong, but this week, I'd like to inform you that everything is fine, and you did a good job. Thank you.
Woo!
Oh, fantastic. Love you.
Zrugel says Kanpai. So we're talking about the use of secret identities in anime. Okay, interesting. Looking through the chapters, you guys are going to hit most of the points I was going to bring up. Love After World Domination, Miss Kuroitsu from the Monster Development Department, and Kaiju number 8 are the shows I was thinking about. Yeah. Xeno's grumpy this episode.
It was hot.
The heat, or was
it
the
was
fact
hot.
Was that also... I can't remember if that was me not liking secret identities. Yeah.
After recording that, you walked into the shower and then just recovered in 15 minutes.
It's true.
Oh, that does sound about right. Yeah. For Nasuth's question about red herring identities, how about Steel Lady Nanase from Inspector? Oh, that's was a decent one. She was a non-person whom the police and the internet tried to catch. Yeah, no, I do remember that one. I do feel that story in itself took too long to resolve, but it is a good example. My favorite secret identity would have to be Saitama, because he's a nobody that anyone would actually recognize in the first place. I feel like a parody is the best way to do secret identities in anime. Or a skeleton knight in another world. Yeah.
Yes.
For an honorable mention, I'd like to add
Makoda?
Campfire cooking in another world. Makoda.
Is that the main character?
Is it?
Because after he leaves the initial kingdom, he buys clothes and tries to fit in, and basically never tells anyone that he was summoned with the hero's party.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Makoda Tsuyoshi.
Yeah. I kind of get where you're coming from with that. Right.
Oh, shoot.
And
I haven't prepped for the memes. But it's meme time.
He was too busy listening to lovely dulcet tones.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yay, memes!
Because everybody loves my dulcet tones.
As Thaylien said at the top of the show, all of our memes are archived in the description below. You can find links to our website, because Reddit likes to get rid of them. We also take up to 6 viewer memes a week if you come to the Discord. Also linked in the description below. You can drop memes in for us to react to as completely blind. We don't see them beforehand. Unfortunately, we only have 2 this week, so a little dry on the viewer memes. Right,
but we're glad to have them.
Xeno, take it away.
Time Traveler. What's happening, Dr. Jiro? Just making some androids to kill Goku. Time Traveler. The one who helps Goku save the universe. The one who brings out Goku's son's hidden potential. Or the one that bangs Goku's best friend. Dr. Jiro.
What?
Wait, I'm trying to... Hold on. Who's the one that helps Goku save the universe?
16. Oh, sorry. 17 helps Goku save the universe in Super. The guy, because he's the last one standing.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
16 brings out Gohan's potential, and 18 bangs Krillin. Yes. Because it's crushing 16's head that makes Gohan go Super Saiyan 2.
Yes!
That's right.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah.
Thaylien, you take this one.
A youth pastor covers his student colorized. Rejected by the one girl I loved. I'll never find another one like her again. Don't worry, Brock. You'll find plenty of other girls to reject you.
Oh, dear. Right, on to my memes. POV, me and my cat are fighting for the last piece of food in my fridge. Cat wins.
Yeah. Well, not in that anime, it doesn't.
True. I may be single, but I have my waifu. Everyone else laughs at her. Let's go fuck. Yes. Your waifu means nothing. Your waifu means nothing.
Wow.
Gate getting a season 2 after 10 years. No game, no life. Now it's next it's your turn.
Yep.
Hey, Gate's getting a second season?
It is.
Yeah.
We covered it in the news.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Thaylien
Recording
trying
distances.
to cover.
We've definitely recovered the news.
I never
recorded the news before this.
Definitely not recovering for something that we haven't done yet.
I'm being faced with irrefutable facts. Maybe I made a mistake. No, everyone else is wrong.
Always reminds me of
today.
Beverly Crusher.
Yes, the one time that was
Always.
actually right.
Jesus Christ.
Dio stops time. Kira reverses time. Diavolo skips time. Sorry, Diavolo. Pucci speeds time. Me waste time. That's my standability.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And my last one. Rent-A-Girlfriend fans, admit that you've read 384 chapters of trash and cuckoldry. Admit it! Then you have my permission to die.
Oh, dear.
Oh, poor Rent-A-Girlfriend fans. Alright, Thaylien.
Babe, there's a ghost in my house, his girlfriend. What do you want me to do about it? I can't stop a ghost. It's the ghost of my ex, his girlfriend.
Next one's a video meme, and apparently it loops.
Yuri on ice? Look inside. Yowie.
Not wrong.
Oof.
Not wrong.
Solo leveling and 7 Deadly Sins official collaboration key visual. Soon there'll be no known cases of insomnia left on Earth.
Sorry, it took me a second to realize what that meant.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Next one's also a video.
This wasn't actually a video. Oh.
But
Oh, look, they gave the Geodude mascot transparency layer
God.
legs.
Oh my lord!
Oh, God.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
That's actually really clever.
So funny.
And your
Oh,
last one is
wow.
So cute.
also a video meme.
私はね、ルイコっていうの。あなたはお名前
Oh my god.
リクマ。リクマ？リグマバールズ。
Yeah.
Did that really happen?
I don't know. I've never seen the source material.
That can't have really happened. All right, so Xeno's first two are video memes. Oh, wow, most of them are, except for the number 3.
Yep.
All right.
Just
I don't-
random.
I don't
Just
get
random as fuck.
Okay,
I'm gonna-
that's worrying, actually, that it's that sound.
I'm gonna... Accurate.
Nice.
Accurate.
Needs to happen. Needs to bloody happen.
I mean, it basically does in the anime. Anyway.
I think my third one's spicy.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh
Yep.
my.
Yep.
Well, she's not going back to Tuxedo Mask.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler
I
alert.
Wow. I kind of expected Nasuth to just piss himself laughing. I have underperformed.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
It's just her making faces.
Anyway.
Decent cosplay though.
There we go. All finished. Do I look like a real boy, Papa?
Okay, that one's good.
That hits.
There we go.
And your final one.
Listen, Mr. Zoro, I don't even like the Marines that much. Congratulations, you've been isekai. What? You now get to choose any anime you want to be reborn in. Will it be Naruto, My Hero Academia? Okay, so it's clearly between High School DxD, Prison School, and Little Sister Choices. Well, no matter how much I want to relive the academy days of Issei and Class 3B of High School DxD, I think my choice has to be My Little Sister Can Be Disciplined. Attack on Titan it is.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, there you
It's just what he deserves.
go. That is it for the memes. That is it for this week's episode. Yeah.
Before we go, do you want to have any things of what we're interested in for this coming season?
Oh, yeah, no, to be fair, that we could do some quick shout-outs. I don't know if
Because I
you
know
guys
we're
wanna-
all looking at Dan Da Dan Season 2.
Oh, of course.
My Dress Up Darling Season 2.
Yep.
Let's see. There's a couple
Section
of
number
interesting
8,
ones
season
that Nasuth
2,
and I have.
Sakamoto Days Part 2, Night
Yeah.
of the Living Cat.
Yes, both you and me are looking at that.
I
think we
kind of
both
want to.
picked
I'm
up
kind of hoping the summer
Clever Test and
Hikaru.
Gachiakata.
Yeah, that's way down on my list, though. I might not even catch that one. I'm kind of hoping that the summer Hikaru died is closer to is similar to like either Summertime Rendering or Shoshimin, but we'll see.
I'm also interested in. I was reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, so I could take my time perfecting
yeah,
my
you
magic
liked the
ability.
first
Season
season,
2.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah, I
2,
really
I thought you'd
enjoyed
see that
the-
one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Season 1.
And
Go on.
I say, and of course, there is the standout breakout best one of the season, obviously,
Oh,
which
God.
is Season 2 of Reborn as a Vending Machine.
Ugh. I thought you were going to say Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4.
Actually, I thought you was going to talk about the.
Even I have some shame.
Yeah, okay. There's also Ugly Mug Epic Fighter, which I saw a trailer for recently, and I was just like, I am sorry. What? Necronomico and the Cosmic Horror Show, which
Oh,
again.
didn't that one get some real controversy about it? Because they caught them using Chat GPT on the Dutch translation.
Yup.
Yeah, we talked about that in the news. What else is there? There was another
It's
one.
days ago. I can't remember that.
Can't remember. Sure. And then there's Togen Aki, which I think we've spoken about
Yes.
as well.
Togen Anki. That's on my list. I saw,
I'm not quite sure about Sakamoto Days Part 2 though. I can barely
Really?
remember Part 1.
Oh, okay. I did see one that looks like one of those Isekai Slow Life ones. Looks interesting, which is the Water Magician.
Oh wait, isn't there Secrets of the Silent Witch as well? There you go.
Yes,
So-
Secret of the Silent Witch. Yes,
Right.
that has a nice little silly premise to it.
Right. I think we're done. Are we done?
I think we're done.
I think we're done because,
Cool.
as Zeno will tell you,
I will. Right, thanks everyone for watching and or listening, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Bye.